It is his initiative as per the Conscious Planet hashtag Save Soil. We would like to show you the AV. By looking at it, you would yourself realize how important it is to run this campaign at this very moment. Can we have the AV, please?
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by plowing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years, if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
And the movement that you are taken up, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
And our planet's future depend on it.
Sadhguru, save soil, my friend.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, by looking at this wonderful message by Sadhguru, you must have realized how extremely it is important to save soil at this very point of time. As we all know that GCCI has been instrumental in uplifting the spirit of humanity. Over the last 75 years, GCCI, being the apex body of industry and trades of Gujarat, have been organizing wonderful occasions, events to uplift this spirit in terms of protecting the environment. It has the presence across India. At the same time, it has more than 7,000 direct members and more than 2 lakh indirect members associated with it. We would like to show you the audiovisual showcasing what is GCCI all about. Let's have a look at the AV, please.
In 1498, Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route from Europe to India. But not many know that it was a Gujarati sailor from Mandvi, Kutch Kanjimalam, who guided him from Malindi on the East African coast to Calicut in southern India. The discovery transformed trade between India and Europe and opened gateways for the West to trade with India. Inspired by the enterprising skills of Gujaratis like Kanji Malam to enrich the future entrepreneurs and to empower the nation, in the year 1949, Seth Sri Kasturbhai Lalbhai and Seth Sri Amrutlal Ghar Govindas laid the foundation of the Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. With a far-sighted vision, committed efforts and a dedicated team, the GCCI began to transform the industries and commerce practices in the state of Gujarat. Soon the state of Gujarat became the growth engine of the state, thriving with petroleum, pharmaceuticals, textile, ceramics, chemical, salt, and many such industries. The GCCI is taking the trade and business practices of the state forward with its vision of grow business, transform Gujarat. The mission with which GCCI is surging ahead strongly are to lead Gujarat's business community as its premier and apex advocacy organization to promote growth of business in Gujarat, to develop well-researched policy positions, those reflect and promote interests of our members, to influence Gujarat's state government policy in a positive, visible, consistent, and representative manner. Currently, GCCI has over 7,000 plus direct members, including 200 plus business associations and regional chambers spread across the state, thereby representing the interests of over 2 lakh business enterprises. To make our trade practices contemporary and relevant, we have affiliated with apex bodies to assist to GCCI members through research, consultation, access to information, value-added programs like exhibitions, conferences, seminars and B2B meets, industrial visits, skill development programs, open house workshops, help desks, and such support services. To add a global advantage to our members, we host business meetings with visiting foreign delegations and sponsor our business delegations to different corners of the world. To encourage business delegations from and to all countries of the world to encourage growth of business and new technologies in Gujarat. We provide services and facilities like Certificate of Origin, Visa Recommendation, Library Information Center, Conference Halls, Non-Resident Gujarati Center, Arbitration, Mediation, and Counseling Center. To motivate the youth, GCCI has established the Youth Wing for members below 35 years of age and the Women's Wing for women who are engaged in business-related activities. GCCI has also formed 50-plus committees and task force which work in the functional areas, trade verticals, and direct and indirect taxation domains. In our state's fight against COVID, GCCI created an oxygen bank and supplied 500 oxygen cylinders, undertook repairs to the crematorium, donated 50 BiPAP machines, established a COVID isolation center, donated free portable drinking water to Dhanvantri Hospital, and distributed 3,100 Korean COVID confirmatory kits to the government. GCCI supports new MSMEs to become suppliers of defense. A help desk is created to guide MSME members in defense supplies. GCCI also supports various startups of Gujarat. Our focus on research related to trade and industry and making representations as per the reports have also been a priority. To enhance the knowledge, a short-term training program under Center for Learning Task Force has been initiated, covering various subjects. With a visionary team of office bearers, progressive policies, and quest for innovation, we are committed to strengthen the trade and commerce enterprises of the state and take them to global levels.
So that is GCCI all about. I think we should have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And may I request all of you once again to kindly take your seats. I can see some of you still looking for a seat. Maybe you can move forward and get settled. Everyone, please. So today, the 30th May, marks 71 days of the journey of Sadhguru as a lone motorcyclist. How exciting it is. Give it up, yes. First of all, if you've seen the videos on social media, the image of Sadhguru, such a cool motorcyclist, started the journey from London, the journey of 100 days. And this is with a special message. The message to spread the awareness and restore soil health. 71 days, braving relentlessly, driving in storms and hot weather as he was passing through Middle East, heavy snow as he was passing through Europe, and all that as a lone rider. As he entered in Bharat yesterday, the entire Bharat is super thrilled and excited to welcome him. And today's event is one of such celebration that we all are going to invite him in some time with great joy and happiness. So we'd like to share some of the moments with you where the movement started, how the whole experience went, how Sadhguru went from different country to the other one and experienced this moment of joy and expertise. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the AV of the whole experience of 71 days by Sadhguru himself.
It's a great pleasure for me. These beautiful Caribbean nations are going for this fast.
This memorandum of understanding that we signed, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
What you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil.
If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
It is not about the motorcycle, it's not about the journey, it's not about the song, it is about moving people on the planet. Make it happen, huh?
Nobody spoke about soil like Sadhguru does.
I think if we all contribute, then we have a really strong voice.
There has been so much excitement and everybody is so excited to hear Sadhguru.
This is our time on the planet. What we do here is our business. Let's do the right things.
I honestly didn't feel a part of the movement before, obviously. I'd never met him. Seeing what kind of a following he has and how impactful it is, I really feel like I just joined a global movement.
Graffiti artists supporting this Save Soil movement, wanting to inspire the youth, and youth being the major population in most parts of the world today, all graffiti artists, to whatever walls that you have, make sure that you use this. One of the most beautiful cities of Europe.
It really resonated with me, the message that we have to save our soil.
It's our common issue together. It's not for one nation, for one person, but we as people have to unite and to solve this.
This is a celebration of human beings coming together to do what they need to do. All of us have been part of this destruction. The only way is all of us become part of the solution also.
Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you.
Riding on to Italy. Italy is raining heavily tonight. Here in Venice,
So it's like a wave of hope.
Is necessary for the future.
Over 2,000 years ago, this eternal city made the mistake of overfarming the region, and that was also the fall of the city at that time. So, the Romans of today should never make that mistake once again.
And we are very happy that we are aligned in our message to really high the profile of soils.
Young people getting into farming is very good. That's the future of the world. Thank you. Here we are in Geneva.
I think it's a message of urgency, but it's also a message of hope. So I would really like to thank Sadhguru for his leadership.
The global movement led by him addresses the soil crisis by mobilizing people around the entire world.
This massive fountain in the Lake of Geneva is lit up for Save Soil today with Save Soil colors of blue and green. You cannot stop this. The moment is on. It's going to be on till the policies are done.
In this cold, slippery road and winds are picking up speed, no matter what the hell, I have to keep going. You think this is a problem? Relentless commitment to what you do. That is the only solution. Save soil, let's make it happen.
An MOU to be signed between Isha Foundation and 4,000 Initiative Soils for Food Security and Climate.
We were just sharing exactly the same objective, increasing carbon content in the soil.
Sadhguru, what you are doing is really impressive.
I'm quite amazed and thrilled by it.
I was very honored to be on the stage and be able to actually express that his mission is what we need.
It's fantastic. France has been great. Well, Brussels.
We should all stand up and make the most impact we can to create a real change in the world.
Save the soil.
A smashing evening at the main event. And a super enthusiastic crowd committing themselves to make this happen.
It's heartwarming to see everybody come together.
Save soil, on the move. Let's make it happen. Just look up the news and see in the last 4 months, how many governments have started talking about soil because they see it's picking up momentum. But if you create 3 to 4 billion people talking about soil, that's it. That will be the main conversation in the government.
Save the Soil is a very important movement that we support as UNCCD. We would like to propose to the world to do whatever they can to protect the soil, because it is our future.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
I need someone to show me the way. I need someone to show me the way.
The education ministry in Germany has now come into the picture officially and asked all the children to do artwork to support Save Soil movement. Good, Arjun, wonderful. Congratulations that you wrote to the Prime Minister.
Let's make it happen!
So, on the way to Bratislava, well, the road surface is not great.
It's great that all of you are here in Bratislava. Nobody ever imagined 100 years ago that we will have to save soil of all the things.
Would you like to come in the kitchen and cook with me a little bit?
Why not? Without soil being rich, food won't be rich, Without food being rich, our bodies will not be of full potential.
What do you call that?
It's a Sadhguru sir.
Table 12.
The old heroes always built something which stands up like this, but the new heroes are those people who will nurture the soil which always lies beneath our feet, never stands up. Oh, this wonderful city of Belgrade, the UNFAO said something which really deeply hurt me, is the soil that we are consuming right now belongs not even to these little children, belongs to the unborn child. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for our own lives and the future lives.
I love the message that he sent and how he broadened it, that it's everybody's responsibility.
I think there is a great potential for a good collaboration, partnership with the campaign Save Soil, and what we are doing as a government, we can make it together.
It's very important, bringing a certain sense of love and celebration towards the land that we walk upon.
Going from Sofia to Bucharest, not a weather for motorcycle for sure.
Organize yourselves whichever way you want, form groups, come together somehow and see this happens.
Sadhguru reminded me that I have a voice.
The people from Istanbul were really amazed by Sadhguru to appear, and they were just so happy to see him.
This many people, if all of you are committed and you spend 15–20 minutes a day to enhance the message, I think I don't have to go on riding like crazy. Yesterday I rode 18 hours, can you believe this, through Bulgarian roads?
Is an honest expression of his wisdom and love for humanity, I think.
He's been riding through very, rough terrain, rough roads, dusty construction sites.
It was a long drive, and we were getting a little late for the live event at Tbilisi.
He, right at the end, maybe 5 minutes before the event, decided that he couldn't stop for a break.
In the traffic, he was just removing his jacket and gloves and throwing in the car just to make it on time.
The whole purpose of this movement is to bring this home, that when you walk up on the soil, you know it is the source of your life. Keeping it alive is the most important thing. Will you make it happen?
He is a gift from God for the people, for the earth, for the soil.
We must save the soil, we must plant the trees, we must replenish the forests, we must save our planet.
Wonderful, thank you so much for standing up for soil.
La 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 la,
الحب جينا يا تربتي الحبيبة وعدا منا وعهدا والعهد لن يخيب.
Right now, soil has turned into sand because we pulled out all the organic content. We are taking the life out of the soil. If we don't put that back, all the other concerns which are important to be attended to, but none of them will matter.
This is not for us, this is for him and his generation, hoping that they would have a better future with a better world. Save soil.
Here in Palestine, wonderful to be here.
I salute you and I respect your initiative and my full support of what is needed from the Palestinian side to support you.
The most important thing is we must keep our lands alive for future generations, because that is a fundamental responsibility we hold for our children and future generations beyond them.
Well, it's very, I can tell you as a motorcycle driver, I also like motorcycles and it's not easy. This guy is devoted. This is what makes him so impressive and so, he touches people.
When it comes to agriculture, when it comes to soil, when it comes to soil ecology, our national borders mean nothing, because microorganisms operate as a global system. People are talking about doctors without borders. I'm asking you, are you beings without borders? Are you alive without borders?
Dear Sadhguru, one of the world's voices and leaders on soil conservation and land, in this day and age, having you here is absolutely fantastic, and we welcome you.
Implementation has to happen on the land, and land is not managed by scientists, land is managed by farmers. So it's extremely important. It must be a single-point agenda, incentive-based agenda. If inspiration, incentives and disincentives after a certain period of time is the way forward, this is my appeal to every one of you, because I don't want this COP15 to end as one more convention with more paper and more paper. This must end with concrete action, and action in such a way that it's implementable.
There is no word to describe what Sadhguru is doing for us.
We know how much, you had to do to get here. You left so many things you were doing with it, but you honored the country, you honored the people of this country. And on behalf of the head of state,
It's my pleasure.
I want to thank you very much.
It's a great privilege.
Thank you very much.
Save soil. Let's make it happen.
Saudi Arabia as a kingdom, since 1970s, converting deserts into fertile lands has been quietly happening. Other countries which have fertile lands and actively working to turn them into deserts, you must put them to shame, it's very important. In so many ways, we found the differences between each other in terms of nationality, race, religion, caste, creed. If we act as one humanity, in the next 10-15 years we can turn this around.
بالعربي أنقذ التربة لنفعل ذلك على أرض الواقع بمبادرات عملية وجادة ملموسة الأثر. أنقذ التربة save soil.
We're very glad to have Sadhguru in the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Right now, this is not even about generosity, this is about survival.
It's an honor to have you here,
in this location, in the heart of Bahrain, in this ancient harbor. We're very proud that you're here today, discovering the layers of history in this beautiful place.
You know, the most important thing of what I have learned from him is that the most important thing is to live in harmony and peace within yourself.
and safe soil.
40 minutes past midnight, just another maybe 30 kilometers to the Emirates border, UAE border. It's been a long drive. Totally 930 kilometers today we're doing. Well, UAE has become, you know, an airline hub and a shopping hub and other kinds, but nobody imagined it could be an ecological hub.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Sadhguru, on this wonderful journey. The UAE is partnering with you on Safe Soil, such an important cause.
Safe soil is surely a cause that we can all fully endorse. My dear brother Sadhguru, I would like to thank you for including the United Arab Emirates in your inspiring journey.
I'm proud to share that the UAE is working hard to include soil management and national strategies and policies.
Saving soil is one of the most important things on the planet right now.
It's not his mission, it needs to become all of our missions.
I'm here to save soil.
I had a meeting with Sadhguru ji somewhere in December, I believe. And the net outcome of that whole thing is that I have earmarked funds to make good of the eco deficit of that particular year. Economy should also grow, but it should have a ecological responsibility in its growth.
Right now everybody is talking about robotics. It's time robotics goes into agriculture. Right now you have a big machine which just rips the soil off. This, if you leave the robotic machines through the day and night, where just as much as needed they can do. They don't have to rip the whole soil. Yes, science is already there, we know what to do. It is just that industry is not caught up, because in the policy those things have not come.
I didn't imagine that we could find a lot of Omani people joining the movement.
I said, Oman, one more desert I have to ride. I said, no, Sadhguru, Oman looks like Kerala. If one part of your nation is green, it just takes a determined effort to stretch that green all the way up.
How incredible it is, isn't it? I was actually getting goosies backstage.
Such a thrilling journey of 71 days so far, and it continues. So before we begin, with the further programs, may I request all of you are standing in a side. Let's get connected to the soil more closely. The stairs are very much available. You can get settled there. No boundaries, aaj bacche ban jao, and nobody is going to judge anybody. Let's all feel the divinity today, right? So everyone, please get settled. In a short while, our, guest will be joining us. So, all right. So moving on, as we are going to present to you Radhe Jaggi, who is a very well-known classically trained dancer, specifically Bharatnatyam. She is coming to light up this wonderful ambience by her performance. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, presenting Radhe Jaggi. Everyone, come on. Join our hands together as we welcome our very own, the mystic, the yogi, visionary, Sadhguru. We should all wave our hands up in the air and convey him that yes, we are with him, supporting the movement, save soil. Can we all take your seats together, please, all of you? Please get settled. And may we move on with our program as we have Radhe Jaggi presenting her performance, a wonderful divine performance to enjoy. Everyone, get settled.
Namaskaram. One with a fierce heart of fire, draped in the rivers and oceans, with her hair like open sky, and the body, the ground that we walk upon. O Mother, in celebration of your grandeur, in concern for your well-being, I dance in tune to your rhythm, as I am but a small part of you.
Takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, tak. Kita din 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 kita taka dina takita takita tak. Kita din din kita kita din kita tak takita tak kita tak kita din 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 tak. Takita tak tak kita takita takita taka dimi takita tang tak. Kita din 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 kita din 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 takita takita tak kita din tak kita din din takita tak kita din takita 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 din takita din kita takita din tak kita takita din takita din tang takita din kita
That was Radhe Jaggi. Such a divine performance, ladies and gentlemen. We can feel the energy on the stage. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. It is a moment of great joy and ecstasies. Each one of us sitting here in the city of Ahmedabad is here to welcome you. Let's have a round of applause and convey that how excited we are, how joyful we are to have him here. Thank you, Sadhguru, for joining. At GCCI, it is an opportunity for us to invite Sadhguru and each one of you. May I invite past President GCCI, Shri Sailesh Patwari, to kindly come up on the stage for the welcome address.
Thank you very much. It is indeed a pleasure for me to become a part of this awakening seminar which Sadhguruji is going to give us on soil. I, on behalf of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Isha Foundation and another 20 associations who have joined this program, welcome Sri Sadhguruji, the most revered spiritual leader of India. On the way, our Honorable Home Minister and Industry Minister are coming soon and joining this function. Shri Jagdish Bhai Vishwakarma, Honorable Minister of Industry, is also recently joining us. Parimal Nathwani ji, who is our Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, has kind enough to remain present here. Pankaj Kumar IAS, our Chief Secretary, is also likely to join very soon to us. Ashish Bhatia ji, IPS Director General of Police, Gujarat State. Sanjay Srivastav, sir, IPS Commissioner of Police, Ahmedabad City. Shri Ravindra Kumar, IRS Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Gujarat. Past President of all office bearers of GCCI, members of the Isha Foundations and 20 other associations, members of trade and industry, fraternity and NGOs, entire hard work team of Gujarat Police Force. I must compliment that this function, Ahmedabad, Gujarat Police has done a lot of work. Leading professionals and intellectuals of Ahmedabad, leaders and members of supporting organizations, friends from press and media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to Sri Sadhguruji for being with us in today's awareness program. Sadhguruji is a mystic and visionary who connects spontaneously to both the old and new generation, and his passion spills into everything he encounters. He warmly welcome, we all welcome Sadhguruji, sir. Pujya Sadhguruji is on a historic journey. Sadhguru is currently on a 100-day, 30,000 kilometer on motor bicycle journey through Europe, Central Asia and the Middle East, and a part of the movement to save soil. And it is a matter of our privilege that he is among us in Ahmedabad. Sir, this year UNED theme is Hash Only One Earth. And 5th June is the World Environment Day, which is being hosted by Sweden. If we don't act now, the planet only has enough now for another 80 to 100 harvest, which will last 60 years at the most. After that, we will not have the soil to produce food. Accordingly to UN reports, 1 acre of land of the planet is lost every second. Objective of the Save Soil movement is to urge to all the nations mandate a minimum of 3 to 6% organic content in agricultural soils through urgent policy reforms. Without this, minimum organic content in India is left to only 0.6%. It is time to awake ourselves to take action seriously to improve soil quality urgently for our next generation. I wholeheartedly appreciate the hard work and efforts put in the police department for organizing the successful interaction with Pujya Sadhguruji. As we all know, we cannot survive without soil. Healthy soil is the root source of the livelihood, and that sustains farmers and communities all around the world. It is a priceless, irreparable resource and key to sustain all life on the earth. When we damage the soil, water system become disrupted, food production declines, and carbon is released into the atmosphere. Any one of these essential soil functions would be reason enough to preserve our soil. Taken together, they are compelling argument for urgent action. As the world learns in work together to preserve the oceans, our forests, and our biodiversity, we now need to look after the ground. The humble earthworm can only do so much. It is time now for individuals, communities, companies, and countries to work together and help to save our soil. Save Soil is a global movement launched by Sadhguruji to address the soil crisis by bringing together people from around the world to stand up for soil health and supporting leaders of all the nations to institute national policies and actions towards increasing the organic content in the cultivable soil. To demonstrate the support of over 3.5 billion people, Sadhguruji will be journeying over 30,000 kilometers in 27 nations alone on bicycle. The journey will begin in London and end in Koroe basin in southern India, where Kaveri Calling project initiated by Sadhguruji has so far enabled 125,000 farmers to plant 62 million trees to revive soil and help replenish the depleting waters of river Kaveri. It is a privilege of GCCI to have this opportunity to welcome him during his Save the Journey to Soil to be a part of it. It would be prudent to share at this juncture that the industry fraternity of Gujarat is very sensitive to the issue of environment conservation, and we are the pioneer in the field of setting up and operating complex common effluent treatment plants to ensure minimal damage to the environment. We would be happy to contribute further to Save the Soil campaign of Sadhguruji and assure our wholehearted involvement in the same. With these words, I once again welcome the August gathering on the momentous occasion, and if I have forgotten any name to announce, I apologize for that because a lot of dignitaries and stalwarts of the industry, IRS, IFBS officers are here, and I wish Sadhguruji, what he is laying down, it should also be penetrated to the schools, so school students should also know what is the value of soil. Thank you.
Thank you, Sailesh Bhai, for such a warm welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, with a great honor, I take this opportunity to invite on the stage our very own Sadhguru. Let's have a round of applause. And before he begin with his keynote address, at Police Department of Gujarat, Government of Gujarat, also GCCI, would like to take this opportunity and felicitate Sadhguru. On behalf of Gujarat Police, Gujarat Government and GCCI, we would like to take this opportunity and present a small token of love and appreciation at this moment before you commence. May I request Shri Parimal Nathwani, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha and leading industrialist to kindly come up on the stage and present the bouquet to Sadhguru. After this, to save time, I would also request Sri Rajkumar IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department, to please kindly come up on the stage for the felicitation. Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Sri Rajkumar IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Home Department. May I request Sri Ashish Bhatia, IPS, Director General of Police, Gujarat State, to please come up on the stage and present the flowers to Sadhguru.
That's a lot of flowers.
And last and certainly not the least, Sri Sanjeev Chajed, Vice President, and Sri Navroz Tarapore, Honorary Treasurer, Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, kindly present the bouquet to Sadhguru. And now, Sadhguru, stage is all yours. We are all yours. We are eager to hear from the man himself. Over to you.
Too many things happening. Namaskaram. Kalo na janati tav jananam, kalo na janati tav samapanam, drushto maya tav mahakarah yogeshwara Kala Kala Yogeshwara Kala Kala. Namaskaram and good evening to everyone. The audio is not sounding like me, that's all the problem is. Hello? Yeah, it's loud, but it's not sounding like me. Can you hear me? Thank you. So, of all the things in the world, whoever thought soil need to be saved? But unfortunately, we have come to such a situation that not a single nation in the world has a minimum 3% organic content in the soil. We need to understand this, that if we add organic content to sand, it becomes soil. If you take away all organic content from the soil, it becomes sand. This is the simple mechanism. In the last 50 to 70 years' time, we have taken away all source of organic content on farmlands in the world. Somewhere early 20th century, 1918 to be precise, a German scientist came up with nitrogenous fertilizer. This magic powder, when we put it on the soil, suddenly our crops burst forth like that. Especially in India, there are many places where the crop yields went up over 300%, 3 times over. Naturally, this became the magic powder. As we started using this magic powder, we wanted to plow every inch of the land, so we slowly removed all vegetation, and then the machines came in, replaced the animals, so the machines started working. We must understand there are only 2 sources of organic content in the entire universe, not just on this planet: plant life and animal life. There is simply no other way. This one thing everybody must understand: the only 2 sources of organic content in the universe, not just on the planet, is just plant life and animal life. Just see today, what is a farmland? There is not a single plant other than the monocrop and not a single animal. So there is no organic content. So slowly, soil has depleted in the last 70 years to a point where today not a single nation has minimum 3% organic content. To call soil as soil, we must have 3% organic content. Not one nation has that. The highest organic content in the world, average, is Northern Europe, which is 1.48%. United States is 1.25%. India is 0.68%. Africa is 0.3%. Below 1% is called desertification. That's where we are. We are just brilliant people that we are busy with so many things. We've just forgotten, just 70, 80 years ago, there used to be terrible famines in this country. Hello? You read about them at least? Fortunately, most of us have not experienced one, but have you read about in your history books at least? Hello? In 1942, 3.2 million people died in this country out of famine. When we say a famine, we must understand that is the worst form of death for a human being. Because if it's a war, you get shot or you get blown to bits, that is a fortune. Compared to a famine, famine means slowly, 3 to 4 months, slowly you die in a very painful way. The worst way for a human being to die is famine, always. Most terrible things happen when famines are on. But we've just forgotten in one generation that we used to face famines because last 60 years we've eaten well in this country. So today, once again, the whole world is tending to drive towards a famine. Every responsible scientist is pointing out by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food and our populations will be 9.2 billion people. This is not a world you want to live in. This is definitely not a world where you want to leave your children. See, you want your children to live better than you, hello? This is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not some moral teaching, this is not religion. This is something intrinsically within you as a human being. You want your children to live better than you. But I want you to understand right now, we are taking away the foundations of possible good life for our children by destroying the soil. Once there is no nutritious food, there's no clean water and pure air to breathe, the foundations of good life are gone. But that's exactly what we're doing. We have issues with many things. I'm not saying there are no other issues, but this is a fundamental issue because right now we're talking about soil extinction. When we use the word extinction, you think of dinosaurs and dodos. You don't think of soil, but that's where we are going. In another 60 years' time, 90% it will be depleted. Right now, 52% of the world's soil is degenerated. In another 50 to 60 years, we could reach 90%. This is not doomsday talk. Every responsible scientist, every UN agency, I've been traveling too much. Every United Nations agencies are talking about this. I've been talking about this for 30 years, about soil. Everybody says, Sadhguru, it's great, what you're saying is fantastic, Sadhguru, and go to sleep on it. So I thought I had to do something to wake people up. And in the last, this is the 72nd day that I'm on the road, and 74 nations have signed up for Safe Soil policy. No, don't clap, we have 195 nations. Hello? We need to understand this. Policy change is only a fundamental step. There's still many more things to be done. It will take 12, 15, 20 years to fulfill that. But if we do not get the world's soil to 3% minimum organic content, the organisms start dying. Just to get you to understand this simple process, when we say putting organic content into the soil, we are just talking about feeding the organisms. Who are these organisms? Where are they? Every handful of soil has 8 to 10 billion organisms. 60% of your body are microorganisms. Only 40% is your parental genetics. Hello, do you know this? Only 40% is your parental genetics and cells in the body. 60% is microorganisms, because your body is just a reflection of the soil that you walk upon. Who you are right now is just a consequence of what is happening in the soil. Not only today in terms of food, even in terms of evolution, you are just a consequence of what's happening in the soil. For example, just to set a context to this, all of you breathing? Check and tell me, don't just agree with me. You breathing? No, you must check, you must watch this, because one day you will not be. Hello? One day you will not be breathing. Right now you're breathing and you're fortunate, yes? Approximately 1 billion years ago, according to scientists, they are saying that before the phenomena of photosynthesis started, about 1 billion years ago, the oxygen content in the atmosphere was just a shade over 1%. Today it's 21%. That's why you and me are breathing. Even last 2 years with masks on you're breathing, because 21% oxygen in the atmosphere. If this was not there, not only you would die now, first of all, you wouldn't have happened as an evolutionary process. Complex life on this planet would not have happened if there was no 21% oxygen. So today, in the last 1,000 years, we have removed 85% of the photosynthesis on the planet. What's our plan for future, really? Right now, 71% of the world's land is under farming, that means it's been plowed. 4.2% is urban land, so it is paved. So totally 76% of the world's land is either plowed or paved. That means there is no photosynthesis more than 3 to 4 months in a year when the crops are there. Rest of the time, there is no photosynthesis in 76% of the world's land. This is suicide. Hello? This is a mass suicide plan. And at least if somebody hangs themselves, shoots themselves, they will die immediately. This is not that kind. This is a very slow process. It will be extremely painful for future generations if we don't do something about it now. Is this fixable? Very much fixable. I'm sorry. Right now, according to UNFAO, every year, on an average, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. You heard it right, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. At this rate, it is expected somewhere between 25 to 40 years from now, we will come to a point where even if we want to revive the soil, we cannot revive the soil. So right now, we are in a cusp of time that if we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years, maximum 20 years, we can make a significant turnaround, because we are in that threshold of time. But if we don't act now, this is where it will go. This slide is going, it is expected somewhere, this slide will become a tumble. Once it becomes a tumble, there is nothing we can do about it. Right now, there is an opportunity to do this. The world has somehow been avoiding talking about soil. You might have read a lot about global warming, climate change, fossil fuel burning, and you're using less water to brush your teeth. Don't think it's ecological, it's just a civic sense, okay? To help your city administration. If you use less water, if you shower once in 3 days, I'm sorry, it is good for the city, bad for your family and friends. That's up to you. But these are just civic issues being projected as ecological issues. The real ecological issue is the soil ecology is depleting. And this is also cause for water stress in the societies. Right now, it is expected by 2032, 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. That means their daily water, there will be a struggle. Because of this, it will stimulate something like 1.2 billion people migrating from different parts of the world. In India itself, 220 million people are supposed to migrate to urban centers. Why this is happening is, when there is no organic content in the soil, water cannot be retained there. We have proven this on the ground with hundreds of thousands of farmers. When we increase the organic content to 8 to 10%, our irrigation requirement is coming down to 30% of what we are using right now. That is, instead of using 100 liters of water, with 30 liters of water we can grow the same crops if the organic content is high. If we don't do this now, India particularly will go into a very serious water stress. I know people in cities are complaining about little water not coming in their tap, but in every cinema, in every our movies and stuff like that, you will see a village woman carrying a pot, of course, which is well painted and kept, and it's empty when the heroine is carrying it. And she dances and she sings and carries water. There is nothing romantic about walking 2 miles to get a pot of water. I want you to know this. She neither sings nor dances, her neck is breaking. Yes, she's got 18 to 20 kilograms on her head and she's shaking like this and going. She's not dancing, she's not singing, she's not romancing anybody. Nothing like that is happening. Because you have to go to the village and see, not in the cinema, all right? But this is happening in this country for a long time and we think it's romantic, it's a shame. There's nothing romantic about it. Hello? There is nothing romantic about a woman walking 2 miles to get a pot of water for her family. What is romantic about it? But this is going on for a long time. Today we are trying to pipe water to everybody's homes, but the problem is the water itself is not staying with us because lack of organic content. This is something that we started 27 years ago. We started a project called Project Green Hands, which evolved into Rally for Rivers, with which, if you do not know this, we also passed through Ahmedabad at that time. And Rally for Rivers generated the support of 162 million people. Because of this support, the government took it up immediately, and within 3.5 months, the policy that we wrote, a 760-page policy document, was made as a national recommendation for all the 28 states within 3.5 months. This is the first time that a private organization wrote a policy and it was accepted by the government. And 6 states went proactive, rest of them waiting for a disaster. So we thought it has to be manifested on the ground. We started Kaveri Calling, and looking at the success of Kaveri Calling, about 5 UN agencies became our partners, and the central government made detailed project reports for 13 river basins based on Kaveri Calling. Kaveri Basin is 83,000 square kilometers, 5.2 million farmers living and working there. Looking at the success of this, they made 13 detailed project reports for 13 river basins. These 13 river basins cover 67% of India's land. So we were pushing it, but it did not get into action. But just now, about a month and a half ago, when I was still riding in Europe, the central government announced a 19,000 crore budget for these 13 river basins. So it has begun, the movement has begun on the ground. This is how government policies work. It's taken us over 11.5 years to manifest this. But if we don't have this commitment, we will be forsaking our nation, because nearly 62% of India's soil is considered degraded. It is below 0.5%, that is on the verge of desert. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you're in Gujarat, you must understand what I'm saying. It is feeling like a desert, I don't know. I've been riding from Jamnagar, it is feeling like a desert. I was riding through the deserts of Arabia for the last 18-20 days. I thought coming to India will be a relief, but Gujarat has not been a relief. It's almost as hot, maybe a few degrees less, but it feels like a desert. And you know large parts of Gujarat have serious water stress. This is not just Gujarat, across the country except Western Ghats and northeastern India. Rest of the country, if you fly from Delhi to Chennai and look down every 5 minutes from your airplane window, you will see it's a brown desert right across. Unfortunately, this is what we have done to one of the most fertile lands on the planet. Yes, in 70 years' time, we brought it to this state. In southern India, there is a history of over 12,000 years of farming. For 12,000 years, we managed the fertility of the soil. In 40 to 45 years, we have turned it into a desert. Congratulations to ourselves. What a shame. It's time we change this, and right now, the central government is very much oriented in this direction. But you must understand this, governments are not elected to do fantastic things. Governments are elected to fulfill people's mandate. Where is the people's mandate? Where is the people's mandate for long-term policies? Tell me. Everybody is asking 1% tax rebate, they're getting it. They're asking for some other knick-knack, they're getting it. Where is the mandate from the people for long-term policies in this country? So it's not just by vote. By voice, you must mandate the government. If you take long-term policies, we are with you. Otherwise, when you elect a government for 5 years, why will they make a policy which will bear fruit in 15 to 20 years unless you say so? Hello? This is what is needed. There is not a single nation where 60% of the population has ever stood up and said, we are concerned about the future of this nation, we are concerned about the future of our children. No, nobody says this. Then how will the government do anything? Because the history of this country in various states is, whenever the leadership takes long-term policy decisions, they lose the election for sure. Hello? This is the history. So I'm saying if you want this nation to have long-term policies, as people, you must stand up and mandate the governments that we are ready for long-term policies. We are not here for short-termism. Hello? When people do not say it, it will not happen. And people have not said it till now. This is what Save Soil movement is about. This is about getting 60% of the world's population to stand up and say, we are concerned about the long-term well-being of this planet. We are concerned about the future of our children. It's time to say this. Hello? Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it, okay? Because I'm seeing last 30 years non-stop I've been talking about this. People say, great, great, and go to sleep. Because you're Gujaratis, I'm giving you 30% discount. No, no, no. I'm increasing… No, I'm increasing this, 70% discount. Hello? You understand this, right? When I started in London, I told everybody, for 100 days, you must keep your voice up. Because you're Gujaratis, 70% discount. Next 30 days, can you keep your voice up? Let's make this happen, Save Soil, let's make it happen. If you have questions, any kind of question, please.
Namaskaram. In the center.
Where are you?
In the center.
In the center, okay.
Hello. So, as a developing nation, we have the responsibility to take our country in a path of development. In this journey of ensuring everyone's economic development, how can we, as India's youth, can focus on sustainability?
You think you're going to develop the nation without food to eat? You really believe that?
No.
Then we need to understand this. Food comes from soil, not from Swiggy. Because you're a young man, I'm telling you. Food comes from soil. If we have no soil fertility, there is no way this country or any country will ever develop. And above all, in this country, nearly 60% of the country's population are involved in farming. What kind of development are you talking, ignoring 60% of the population? Hello? What kind of development are you talking about, ignoring 60% of the country's population? It's not going to work. Out of this 60%, we've done some kind of a survey. What we find is, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. In another 25 years' time, who will be farming this land? You think with your even… I don't know what's your qualification, you may be an MBA, you can't grow food, believe me. Even if you are MSc in agriculture, you can't grow food. You have to live on the land and know certain things, otherwise you can't grow food. And no matter what you and me are doing, doesn't matter what we are doing, you're listening, I'm talking right now. Both of us have eaten, right? Hello? If we had not eaten for 3 days, neither will I be speaking, nor will you be listening. Yes or no? Then what kind of development are we talking without ensuring the food security of this nation? Right now, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. Unless we make this country in such a way that a farmer earns as much as an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever professions people pile up into the city for, if we do not make a farmer earn that much, there will be nobody farming in 30 years' time, believe me. That'll be a disaster. That will be a national disaster. So we should not go there. I want you to understand this, that we have taken this for granted. Somebody is always growing food. That will not be the case. That will not be the case for always if you do not nurture them. And right now, this is the problem. This is why Safe Soil policy is an incentive-driven policy. I will not go into the details of the policy. It is on the website, please look it up. But it's an incentive-driven policy. Without the necessary incentives, it will not happen, and no development will happen in the country once there are food shortages. I want you to just imagine. In Ahmedabad city, if 40% of the population has not eaten for 3 days, you think you will be doing your information technology? You will be slaughtered on the street. Yes or no? Neither your police, nor your army, nor… nobody can control it the moment there is no food on the street. Yes or no? Let's not go there. We've been there in the past. We should never again drive towards a famine, but unfortunately we are. Not just one nation, most nations in the world. Please, take a microphone, please. Microphone, please. All right, speak up.
Hello. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm Hetal Desai from Kobe. Of course, not like you, but small. We do social work, and I want to say that we want to know the practical things from tomorrow morning if we want to join this Save Soil. We are the common public. We are doing our jobs with family and so much responsibility. What should we do exactly so we can help the nation?
So, how can I go and fix my kitchen garden today? That's really wonderful and very cute of you.
Yeah.
But it's not a solution.
Yeah.
Because we've passed that time. If you had asked me this question in 1950s or 60s, I would advise you how to fix your kitchen garden, how to fix your neighbor's garden. But we are well past that time. We have come to a place, unless there are national policies to fix this. What a national policy means like this. See, in Ahmedabad city, there's an old part of Ahmedabad city I have not seen, but there must be.
Yes, yes. We have a very nice heritage.
If you go to the old part of Ahmedabad city or any city for that matter, you will see, you will have homes built wall to wall.
Yes.
No concept of a window, only one door.
Yeah.
Only one door to go in, the same door to come out. You have homes like that?
Yes.
Yes. But now in new part of Ahmedabad city, there are laws. If you have 10,000 square feet of land, you cannot build 10,000 square feet of building. Please sit down, ma'am. You cannot build 10,000 square feet of building. Maybe you can build 6, 7, 8,000 square feet, something like that. There is a law. If you build more, they will come and demolish your building. But if you have 100 acres of land, agricultural land, you can plow every inch of the land. Within 10 to 15 years, you can turn it into a desert. Nobody will ask you, why have you done this? This is why I'm saying we need laws. If you own agricultural land, minimum 3% organic content should be there. How do we enforce this? Give them an incentive. Make the incentive attractive enough that most farmers will go there. Once they go there, if they increase it to 3%, now we are working with global bodies to make this carbon credit system simple, because right now we've been working on this with the farmers. Last 6, 7 years, our teams have been trying, we've gotten nowhere. Because it's almost like made like a endless maze that nobody can walk through. This is made for industry and the same thing is applied for farms. We will never do it. We have to make a simple carbon credit policy where farmer can get the second level of incentive. The third level of incentive is, see, right now if you go to the marketplace, there is, all of you fancy living in the city, organic vegetable, organic fruit. See, if they say this is organic mango, what is the other mango? Is it inorganic? Hello? Is there such a thing? I'm saying this is just a marketing tool. You say this is organic. Every damn mango is organic. Everything in the world is organic. You are also organic. Hello? There is nothing inorganic here. Everything is organic. So, we need to separate this and say in the marketplace, if this fruit or vegetable comes from 3% organic content, soil, now it is on a certain shelf. Because there is enough science to tell you, if the organic content in the soil is 3%, what are the extra micronutrients that are there in this fruit or vegetable? What are the health benefits? What are the preventive health benefits? What are the various other benefits from that? For all this, there is data, we just have to collate this. So if I raise my farm to 3% organic content, now my fruit or vegetable gets a better price. If I raise it to 6%, it'll get much better price, because instead of eating 3 mangoes, you can eat 1. If it's 6%, instead of eating 6 mangoes, you can eat 1, because in terms of nutrition, that's what it is. In 1920s, if you ate 1 orange, what you got from that, today if you have to get the same thing, you have to eat 8 oranges. This is what has happened. In terms of vegetables, the micronutrients in the vegetables, only in United States this is measured, so I'm using the US example because in other countries, in India, we have not really measured this. What the micronutrient content was in vegetables that people ate in early 20th century to what is now, the drop is 90%. You're just eating trash. This is what we're doing to the food. This has to change. So, ma'am, what can I do, what can I do? I really appreciate the enthusiasm. Right now, what you can do is raise your voice, raise your voice, raise your voice, because as a democratic citizen, as a citizen of a democratic nation, this is the most important thing right now. You must raise your voice and keep it up till policies happen.
We may take
Namaste,
one
Sadhguru.
last question because of the time constraint.
Namaste, Sadhguru.
Where are you?
My name is Megha
Where
on
are you,
this
where
side.
are you, Megha?
From here, this side. It's raining on the left side of yours.
On the left side,
on
third
left
row,
of yours.
please. The extreme left, third row.
Here is where it's raining, right here.
You must say this is 10 o'clock.
Sadhguru, as you very beautifully explained, green living is the only way for sustainable future and sustainable development. When it comes to our state of Gujarat, full of industrialists, हमारे खून में व्यवसाय दौड़ता है, ऐसा लोग मानते हैं, कहते हैं, और हमने prove किया है. So if I ask you, if you have to pull the ears of the entrepreneurs or the industrialists here and tell us what is the ideal way towards sustainable development, how can we contribute as entrepreneurs, what would that be like?
See, one thing we need to understand is, this is please sit down, ma'am. This is a serious mistake the world has done. Right now in India, industry occupies only 1.3% of India's geography. Agriculture occupies 84%. Tell me where is the problem? 90% of the world's deforestation has happened because of agriculture, not because of industry. So industry occupies very little land and its productivity is high for the nation, so we encourage it. It's important, it needs to happen. Well, in their industry they can plant 100, 200,000 trees, that is good for themselves and surroundings, but that's not going to change the world. That's not going to change the soil ecology. Soil ecology will change only when we change the way we farm. The problem is in the way we farm. We are farming without putting back what we are taking out of the land. We are taking out organic content, we are not putting it back. To put back, we need either plant life or animal life. Both are missing from the farms. Hello? I was hearing during the UP election, people were discussing on the television, oh, this big bovine animal problem, cows everywhere. Cows are on the highway. That's not where they should be, of course. Either they are in the trucks or they are walking on the highway for some reason. And people think this is a problem. When 60% of the country's population are farmers, you think cows are a problem? Hello? Are you crazy? What's the problem with you? Do you know that without an animal living on the land, land cannot be fertilized? Hello? We have some 600 million plus animals. If these animals disappear in the next 10, 15 years' time, I'm telling you, you ruined the country, just know this. Yes, sir.
I think because of the time constraint, we won't be able to take any question, but as Sadhguru himself has, we can take one question, yeah.
Pranam Sadhguru. I have my own experience where I tilled the land. It was in very bad condition, that water couldn't penetrate even if you fill it up for 1 month. Then I started putting organic matter, cow dung and everything.
So make the question very brief, she's…
Yes.
She's
So
missed
that is
time.
my experience, and even we are involved with rural development where a lot of this putting organic matters and changing the way of farming. So we have cows and everything, then we mulch everything.
Sir, I very much respect that. What I'm trying to tell you, sir, you do something wonderful, I do something wonderful.
So what I've offered when I spoke to your people, that how can we collaborate and how we can take this further.
Yes, sir, I know
from
that, sir. That information came to me. But you do wonderful, something wonderful, I do something wonderful. That's not enough right now. We need to enshrine this in the policy.
Exactly.
Because even if you do something wonderful, what is the guarantee next generation will do the same thing? They may rip it apart. That's what we have done, isn't it? So it's very important it becomes the law. If it doesn't become the law, I do something wonderful to my land, you do something wonderful to your land, there is no guarantee. It must become the law. Only when it becomes the law, it will be enshrined in the law, and that means it will perpetuate into generations to come. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm interrupting. Should we go down? Thank you very much.
Sadhguru, before you leave the stage, there is one more request. We have with us our Honorable Home Minister, Shri Harsh Sanghvi, who has just joined us, and it is a great honor for the entire GCCI team and police department as well to have you. And we would like to take this opportunity and present the memento and the bouquet. May I request all of you to kindly remain seated, please, since there's much more left, and I want all of your attention here.
Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, please remain seated. Thank you. Thank you, Sadhguru. And once again, thank you for your pearls of knowledge and the treasure that you shared. Thank you. Everybody, can we give it up? And now, for the vote of thanks, may I request Dr. Lavina Sinha, IPS, DCP, Zone 1.
At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Sadhguru Ji, for taking out precious time from his busy schedule to address us here today, and Isha Foundation for the amazing work they are doing in the work of field of environment and soil conservation. I would like to thank our Honorable Minister of State for Home and Youth and Sports Affairs, Shri Harsh Sanghvi Ji, Honorable Member of Parliament, Shri Parimal Nathwani Ji, for their august presence here today. Lastly, I would like to thank our DGP Sir, Shri Ashish Bhatia, Commissioner of Police, Shri Sanjay Srivastav Sir, the entire Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and 25 associations participating in helping us organize this function, and all eminent guests who have enthusiastically participated and made this program a success today. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I think instead of saying goodbye and good evening and all of that for next 30 days, even after that, we should make it a practice of saying save soil. And that is the moment. I think all of us should have 3 times cheer up, everyone together with me on the count of 3, 2, 1. Save soil, save soil, save soil. And we are with you, Sadhguru. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all of you to rise from your seats for National Anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashish Mange Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He
Jai. Thank you very much, everybody. High tea has been arranged outside. Kindly proceed forward.
It's a matter of a great pleasure for me to say a very, very big thank you to the State Police Department. Our Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry ने हमने आज तक मिली અને ગુજરાત પોલીસ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટે ખૂબ અમને આમાં હેલ્પ કરી, મદદ કરી, ગાઈડ કર્યું, એડવાઇસ કર્યું. તે મારી હોમ રાજકુમાર સાહેબનો ખૂબ આભાર માનું છું. મિત્રો બહાર હાઈ ટીની વ્યવસ્થા કરેલી છે સામેના હોલમાં. સર્વેને વિનંતી છે કે હાઈ ટીને ન્યાય આપીને જ અહીંથી જાય. આજના કાર્યક્રમમાં અમારે ઘણા બધા ઇન્કમટેક્સના અધિકારીઓ, આઈપીએસ, આઈઆરએસ, પ્રેસ, મીડિયા, ફોરેસ્ટ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ, યુનિવર્સિટીઝ, ડૉક્ટર્સ, જે લોકો બધા જ નામી એના મારી જોડે નામો નથી, એ લોકોને પણ ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર અત્યારે માની રહ્યો છું. 25 સંસ્થાઓ જે આ સંસ્થાને સપોર્ટ કર્યું છે એને ફરીથી ICAI અમદાવાદ બ્રાન્ચ, G2 અમદાવાદ, ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સ એન્ડ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી યુથ વિંગ, લેડીઝ વિંગ, ચાર્ટર્ડ એકાઉન્ટન્ટ એસોસિએશન, YE અમદાવાદ, ઇન્ટરનેશનલ ક્રિએટિવ આર્ટ સોસાયટી, રોટરી ઇન્ટરનેશનલ, HL કોલેજ એલ્યુમની, ફિક્કી ફ્લો, અમદાવાદ જીમખાના, લાયન્સ ક્લબ ઇન્ટરનેશનલ, રોટરી ઇન્ટરનેશનલ, હોટલ એન્ડ રેસ્ટોરન્ટ એસોસિએશન, APX લોયલા, सिलोड़ा पाटीदार समाज, ज्वेलर एसोसिएशन, उत्कर्ष हेल्थ, आप सबका तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.